Hopefully I don't get flagged over instrumental because they fucking insane about playing music these days on YouTube. But welcome back to another episode, another video for the YouTube community. I don't know, because this whole process of creating this podcast has kind of shifted, adding the visual components to it all. I don't know if I'm gonna continue doing a podcast versus just doing my little uploads for YouTube and then just ripping the audio for Apple Podcasts. We'll see. So far, that's the last two. Yeah, I've done 2 live streams, which I just ripped the audio for the podcast. And I feel like this is much easier. There's less editing since, I don't got a whole village, a whole team to, manage everything. So the live stream to the podcast makes it so much easier. So welcome back. This is Elusive TV. Elusive the podcast, whatever you want to, call it. It was a podcast. It is a podcast. Whatever your interpretation of it is, that's what it's going to be. And again, for the people that's here live, leave your comments in the chat and let me know what you think about the topics that I'm about to talk about. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, find your way over to the YouTube channel, Elusive TV, ELSV TV, and you can catch the stream live. And if you want to continue supporting my channel, I will be, making the updates to the Patreon. So the content will be on Patreon, the audio, the mixes, all of the stuff that you hear that YouTube likes to flag will be over on Patreon. So before we get into today's topics, I had to start, with that little instrumental mix. Hopefully YouTube isn't already on my case about it, but I was listening to the R&B Now playlist on Apple's playlist. I create my own playlist, which I link in the description. But yeah, listening to the Apple Now playlist, and I just let it play, and a lot of the records kind of flowed. Like whoever curated that did an excellent job. The Summer Walker record, that's what that was. Constant Bullshit. Yeah. So I believe that was one of the records that I initially liked listening to her album on the first 2 playthroughs. But yeah, listening to it within the playlist kind of hit different because I don't know. When I listened to the album, I didn't really feel any of the records as much. There were like 4 or 5 that I pulled, and I haven't revisited the project. But I was playing the R&B Now playlist because I forget what. Oh, the Sid record was the first record. So the Sid and Kehlani record. So yeah, I went to the R&B Now playlist to play the new R&B records because I was just like, let me hear what's on this R&B Now playlist because I need to update my own playlist. So that's initially why I played it. But yeah, the Summer Walker record came on, Constant Bullshit. Also Insane was in that rotation as well. And I'm just like, maybe it's because time has passed and it's not like everybody's like not overhyping it that I can enjoy the records. But these are the records that I did pull from the records. So I don't know. But yeah, the Summer Walker record is in rotation now. It's in my playlist now. I gotta give her credit because I know in my last Summer Walker review I was saying how I didn't like any of the records and I didn't feel the connection to it meaning something to her as she's singing it. And then the comparisons to Brandy, and then this being Timbaland saying this is the best album, R&B album since One in a Million, or better than One in a Million, at least One in a Million. Yeah, it's just when people put that much pressure or put it up on such a high pedestal, that kind of like makes me lose attention for it. So, the R&B Now playlist did put Summer Walker back into rotation, and it's back on my playlist. So, yeah, if you haven't checked out the Summer Walker project, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you have because y'all saying it's like the best album, but those records got back into rotation for me, and yeah, so I gotta give Summer Walker her credit. I gotta backtrack a little bit. The record is doing what it does. So shout outs to Summer Walker. But yeah, my new shit playlist. I put a lot of Lucky Day records in there because that's the album that I've been rocking with right now. But the couple records that I've heard from Sid, I'm ready. Like, this is album of the year. I didn't hear the whole thing yet, but the Sid record is definitely, it got to be album of the year. And I had the Sid and Lucky Day record on repeat when I heard it, and I was just like, yo, this is so fire. Like, you can't even go to the, like, when you play the first record off of an album and you can't go to the next one because the record is so good. That's what I got from the Can You Break a Heart? That's what it's called, right? That's what I got from that record. And I'm just like, yo, record so fire. Gotta give Sid album of the year. She gotta get some awards for this. Like, yeah, I gotta stop sleeping on Sid. It's ridiculous at this point. Like, the album is another one of the records that I got in rotation is Missing You. But I gotta go and like listen to the entire project because from what I've heard so far, it's a great project. Hopefully I could just get away with the instrumentals and they not kill me for, trying to get some audio, background noise in the back. But hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Again, sorry it's been so long since the last video, but life has been happening and I had to, take a break. And I had a new job, two new projects that I'm doing, and it's hard to like keep all of this in schedule. So yeah, that's why it's been so long since the last video. But speaking of the last video, which is where I discussed the Oscars, Will Smith, Chris Rock situation, plus Beyonce being the focal point of the award show, and they bring all the attention to the Oscars by showcasing that Beyonce's performing, only to not give her the award for whatever, as they always do. But yeah, in that last video, I discussed my song of the moment, which was Normani's Fair. I played about 10 seconds of audio from the record, and it was mixed. It was sped up a little bit. It wasn't that the beat was gone, it was just vocals. So why did it get blocked? The video got blocked. RCA blocked the video in specific countries, which led me to, I go down a conspiracy theory, and uh, so is Normani blocked in a lot of other countries. That's the takeaway that I took away from my video being blocked for just playing a little bit of fair. So does that mean that the record is not out in these other countries yet? Or is RCA not promoting and marketing Normani in these other places? And I go down a rabbit hole because I'm like, all the effort and all the work to kind of like finally deliver Normani in her solo journey, and it's been single after single after single. We haven't gotten an album. You get people saying, "Oh, people aren't responding to the records because we don't know her," and then it's like all of this stuff just piling on to kind of say why Normani isn't as successful as she should be when you compare her to the other girl from Fifth Harmony. And then it's like things like this. So is Normani's success being stunted because she's not being promoted in all of these markets? That's where I'm going with it. Cause like all of the records that she's dropped has been good for me. Like again, I don't know, I listen to music. I don't need to dive into your personal life story to connect to your music, I guess. But then that's kind of contradictory because I said that about Summer. But yeah, I come from the era where, a lot of the artists weren't portraying their whole personal journey in the forefront. You just got the music, and if you vibe with it, you vibe with it. I guess it's different for Summer because all of her personal stuff is on social media. So when you hear the music and it's supposed to relate to what we've seen and heard in social media, it kind of like takes away from the music. But in Omani's case, they're saying like she's not, like we don't know her personally, we can't connect to her, and like all of this stuff that they like kind of put together to say why the Normani hasn't popped like she should. And it's just like, I don't get it. And then the last interview I saw was just like she needed time to gain some personal experience, so she's singing about personal records that actually connect to something that she's been through. And a lot of the interviews are saying exactly what the people are saying we needed from her. But I liked all of the records that dropped, so I don't know, I don't know where we go with that. But yeah, are they blocking Normani from these other markets is where I was going, because not once in the hundreds of videos that I've uploaded to YouTube have I gotten that blocked message. So for the Normani record to be blocked when I didn't actually play a lot of the record and I didn't play the actual record. So that's what kind of got me. I'm just like, yo, what RCA needs to explain what's going on with that. But yeah, that could be a reason why Normani is not seeing the success that she should be. And then we build up this fake narrative that it's because we don't know her personally. Like, it's stupid. Whatever. But yeah, on to some other things. I know we sick and tired of this Will Smith situation. I was gonna, jump back on weeks ago to kind of update the situation, but it's just when you hear thousands of think pieces, a lot of actors being interviewed and giving their 2 cents, and then all of the stuff that transpired with the Will Smith situation is kind of like I didn't want to talk about it to begin with, but I jumped on it, and it's still ongoing. So the Oscars decide to, ban him from the Academy. I'm sure everyone's aware. They banned him from the Academy for 10 years. He can't attend any Oscar award show or events that's happening around the Oscars. I don't really know. I didn't really look into it, but I believe that means he can be nominated again. I don't know. It's 10 years is a long time. I don't think that's I don't think that punishment fits the crime, and then everyone being up in arms about being traumatized and all this stuff around being the slapped, and it's just like worse things have happened in Hollywood, and for everyone to just act like this kind of things don't happen. This topic is terrible. Yeah, people act like stuff like this don't happen, so it's like, why y'all making a big deal about somebody being slapped? Now, I don't know, I don't remember what I said in the last video, but the only two people, I believe I said this, the only two people whose opinion matters on this situation is Will Smith and Chris Rock. Everyone's giving their opinions about how they feel and how traumatized they are, and oh my God, the violence, and we can't be doing this and this and that, and in these situations in these type of spaces, and it's just like worse things have happened in these in and around Hollywood in general. So for Will Smith to be getting this type of punishment says a lot about the Academy, because there are some people who, if we're banning because of slap at an award show, should be banned for the worst things, the sexual harassments, the scandals, the, murders that, take place that no one seems to be up in arms about, but because of it's Will Smith, and because it happened live, and because of whatever, we're just gonna, oh my God, this is the worst thing that's ever happened, and I'm so offended, and all this other nonsense. Come on, 10 years is too much. And again, in this whole conversation, not one person mentioned how this affects Chris Rock. How's Chris Rock doing? No one apologized to Jada Pinkett. No one's asking or saying anything in regards to anybody else. Just the slap and how offended they are, as if they were slapped. But what can you do? Whatever. Now they're trying to pull out of movie deals and all the stuff that Will's working on, and it's just like none of that fits the slap. So you just gonna, I mean, in my opinion, it's just a way to like tear down a black man because of something so small and minuscule. Like, and it's just like, the looks of it is like y'all were waiting for any slip up to like push Will out. And it goes to the point where it's like, as black people, we go through this point where it's like you can't make a mistake. One little mistake will tarnish any other greatness that you've done, and that'll be your whole life, basically. So like, they're not giving Will the grace to like, he apologized, he resigned, he did all of these things, and still it's not enough. And they're not giving him the grace to like atone for it. And in my opinion, I just feel like the only atonement is just a sit down or whatever with Chris Rock. Everyone else making decisions and having thoughts on the situation when they weren't involved in the situation. shouldn't be the case. But what do I know? What do I know? So that whole situation is just terrible. But yeah, before we switch gears, I'm gonna not play any music. Well, just the beat, just the instrumental, because y'all not gonna get me. I will save music for the Patreon. Which also kind of goes to, DJing. It's something that I've wanted to do, something that I've been doing. I've been mixing records and sounds since like 2007. So when you have this skill of mixing and putting together sounds that people normally don't put together, and then you want to showcase that, but you get blocked for playing records, it kind of like discourages people from DJing. Like I don't understand how. I mean, I guess you got to be like a DJ Khaled, and then you produce the records and buy the samples and all this stuff. But the art of DJing, I feel has been diminished so much that I used to actively like try to put together sounds, and I wanted to do like a whole mixtape full of mixes that I've done. I've done like hundreds of mixes, and I was putting together this mixtape of mixes that I've done, including an all Brandy mixtape of sounds and mixes that I've done. It's just like I can't upload them because SoundCloud, YouTube, all these places will flag the record. So how do you showcase these mixes unless it's at an event and you're doing it live and then someone happens to catch video of it? So yeah, that's my take. Like I've the plan was to have mixes for every episode. So the music that I would discuss, like the Summer Walker record, the Sid record, the Lucky Day album, like I would have prepared a skit for this specific episode, because that's how I branded this podcast to be a place to showcase the music and the mixes that I created. So that way I'm producing the record differently. So I'm not actually playing the record. So yeah, that's where I started this podcast. And it's just like now to be in a space where any little 10 seconds can be blocked, and it's just not fun to like go out of your way to like showcase your mixing capabilities only to have it flagged. So that's the hard part about this pod. Like I initially wanted to do it live, like live mixing session. I did it on one of the Brandy episodes where I was trying to mix two full moon records just off the top of my head. But like the goal was to mix live, talk about music, talk about events, and then this is my pod. But now it's like all of these record labels and all of these streaming platforms and all of these places are like the way they make the music business work and run. It's kind of kind of turns people off. Like I'm kind of turned off about the whole situation. So it's not even like I can't put as much energy into building a mix for a podcast when there's so many deals in place and so many ramifications around playing music in certain platforms that kind of takes away from the art of it all, and it's not fun. So to kind of jump through hurdles to try to get my mixes out there, it's if you hear it, you hear it. If you don't, I don't know anymore. That's just where I've been at with the music, and like I have some that I've dropped a little bit. You could check on the channel. The Brandy ones have made their way up. I have some that's in the vault that I'm like trying to decide what to put up next, but YouTube doesn't make it easy. Um, Spotify, the reason why my podcast isn't on Spotify, uh, I don't know. I don't like Spotify to begin with anyway. So I would have loved to have my podcast on multiple platforms so people who don't have Apple devices can hear the podcast, but Spotify will not, for whatever case, allow my pod to be transferred to their platform, and I'm cool with that because I don't use Spotify. But for the people who can't listen because they don't have Apple Podcasts, you can listen on Podbean, and now doing the visual aspect of it, you can hear it on YouTube. So that's where we've gotten with this whole situation. But every platform is trying to buy up podcasts and produce all of this stuff to get more podcasts, and we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing until maybe one day it'll be us. So with that said, we can finally get into today's topic, which is Brandy, because that's what this pod has become. Not it hasn't become that, but I'm gonna talk about what I like, and if y'all new to my channel and didn't know, it's a Brandy pod. It's a Brandy pod, 99% of the time. I'm lying, but yeah, I'm gonna find a way to bring Brandy into the conversation. So Brandy is the reason we are having an episode because I had several topics that I was gonna jump on for at the start of April, and I was just like, I don't even feel like diving into this stuff because you get everyone's take, 1,000 think pieces on the Will Smith situation. It's just like, why should I add one more? I did though, but why do you need to add your 2 cents to a situation that doesn't affect you? Like the Will Smith situation doesn't really affect me, but seeing how they're treating a black actor in this space, that's what's affecting me. And I'm just like, when you apply that situation to corporate corporate world, yeah. So that's why I'm so upset about the 10 years. And then no one's really concerned about the parties involved. It's more about making a statement and, you know, tearing down someone who's provided greatness for so long, which is what the industry loves to do, build you up and then tear you down. But we can get into this Brandy. Or not. Or not. What's happening?
And you can. I feel the need. Yeah. Give it the Brandy ending. Whenever I feel the need, I...
So I heard that I can't actually play the entire video, so I gotta pause it and then talk because this is something that's part of masterclass. So I had to pause it real quick to explain that part because I've seen other YouTubers do that and say they have to get on people's case for saying, why don't you just play it and shut up? And no, this is my channel. I do what I want. But yeah, I had to pause it because I've seen people post clips from the session and it's been taken down since. So good thing I saved this one video. There's been multiple, but yeah, I believe because I'm talking about it in reference, I'm allowed to play and talk about it. So yeah, Mariah Carey has a master class on vocal techniques, I believe. I should have looked into the details of the master class, but you know, I hear about master class. I mean, I'm sure we all hear about master class all the time, but we don't really check them out because you got to pay for it. So, I mean, some people do. This one, I do wish that I could pay for it or download it or have this episode or, you know, because one thing I want to check off my bucket list is being in the studio while Brandy's recording. And the icing on this cake is you throw Mariah Carey into the mix and it's just like it's already insane to hear Brandy in the studio. But Mariah Carey and Brandy, mind blown. So when I first saw the clips, I was just like, there's no words. Like, there's nothing you can say. It's just like, is this real? Is this real? Is my initial thought. Like, Brandy and Mariah Carey are singing back and forth, and it's effortless. Like, the part where Mariah just is talking, and then the one word where she sings it and goes back to talking. I'm just like, yo, you do you hear this greatness?
Ooh, that's hard. Whenever I feel the need, I vision. Yeah,
This is what heaven
Whenever
sounds
I
like.
feel the need, I vision. Mm-hmm. Yes. So she's just gonna play with it. Whenever I feel the need, I
Like, I don't even know how. I believe Silent is recording, like he's doing the video recording, but like the the moment that they just just bust out singing, and I don't even know how you compose yourself when you hear Brandy and Mariah Carey go back and forth, perfecting, like they already sound great, but just perfecting their vocals to just I can't even put it into words. It's just like, how do you compose yourself among the greatness that is Mariah Carey and Brandy?
whenever I feel the need, I
Do you hear that? Do you hear that?
You and I on that pretty night. You and I, you and I on a rainy night. Yes. You and I on a rainy night.
And then it just blends together so well that it's like, wow. Wow, wow, wow.
On a rainy night, on a rainy night. That's nice. I did something slightly different. I like yours. On a rainy night. Yes, yes. It was all so sweet. Yeah, that's nice. It was all so sweet.
I have one thought. Was this filmed during Christmas? Or does Mariah Carey just have a Christmas tree up all year round? That's my only thought on the situation. Is that Christmas tree there just year round, or was this done during Christmas?
Yeah. I love you. That I loved
That part right
you.
there.
Do it. Do a baby like throw it.
That
Yeah, that's nice. It was all so sweet. Yeah. I love you. That I loved you. Do it.
I could just that part right there. Just Brandy just singing that over and over and over. This is just. I can't wait to hear the record.
Do a baby like throw it, baby. That I loved you, baby. Yeah.
And then here you hear it, right? Because they've said Brandy has the ability to sing stuff the same way over and over, which tricks the computer when she's doing the harmonies. You can hear it.
It was all so sweet. That I loved you, baby.
I could just watch this clip over and over and over and over again. Just to hear just to be in the presence of two great legends, and they're giving each other feedback, and Mariah's, vocal producing a record, and it's effortless effortless. I can't even say it. Effortlessly. It's just wow. So I had a thought after um being just stuck after hearing all this, hearing this just I'm speechless just again. Seeing the clips from the masterclass, seeing how Mariah Carey vocal produces, seeing how easy Brandy is able to, pick up. It's just, and then the way their vocals blend so well. Like, I know it's going to sound great in this record. My takeaway is that Brandy just announced Full Moon, the year of Full Moon 20 anniversary of Full Moon, which I've talked about. Which one of these Full Moon records could we flip and have Mariah add vocals on? I haven't thought about it, but the one song that pops in my mind is always "Love Wouldn't Count Me Out" because that's a ballad, and it's an interesting one because that's the one that I feel like Mariah's vocals would be interesting on. But I would love to see if this masterclass re-recording of The Roof. It's called The Roof, right? Re-recording of this Mariah Carey record for this masterclass. It would be interesting if it was done in reverse. Like Brandy picks a record for Mariah to add vocals. And let me know what y'all think, YouTube watchers. If you had a record that Brandy could vocal produce Mariah on, which records would it be? And because it's the 20th anniversary of Full Moon, and Brandy has promised us new vocals, new performances, new visuals. We ain't forget Brandy, but if we were to pick one of the Full Moon records, which one would this work for if Mariah added vocals to it? It's a great concept. Hopefully, they did more in that studio than the one record because, jeez, just kill one more time, y'all.
And you
When I feel the need.
yeah. Give it the Brandy ending.
Give it the
Whenever
Brandy
I feel the
ending.
need, I envision.
Give it the Brandy ending.
Ooh, that's hard.
Whenever I feel the need, I envision.
Yeah.
Vision.
Yeah.
Whenever I feel the need, I envision.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
So she's just gonna play with it.
Whenever I feel the need, I envision. Whenever I feel the need, I envision. You and I on that really night. You.
For the people who were doubting Mariah's vocal abilities, what y'all got to say now? What do y'all have to say now?
And I, you and I on a rainy night.
Yes.
You and I on a rainy night. On a rainy night. On a rainy night. On a rainy night.
That's nice. I did something slightly different. I like yours.
That's nice. That is very
Yes. Yes.
It was all so sweet.
That's very
Yeah.
nice.
That's
That's nice.
It was all so sweet.
yeah.
I love you. That I loved you. Do it.
Do a baby like a throwaway baby.
That I loved you, babe.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's nice. That's very nice. That's so nice. So nice. So good. So good. So good. We might just need we might need a whole project, Mariah and Brandy. just just it don't even have well, it would be nice to be new records, but just picking some classics from their catalog and just remixing them. I feel like Mariah is good with remixing a record. It would be interesting to hear which one of Brandy's records could Mariah add some vocals on and just take it to a different level. And I would love to hear that. And I would love to hear more of Brandy and Mariah Carey on a record because this wasn't enough. Even though, yes, it was enough because like I could just watch this clip over and over and over and over again. I need this masterclass. Like, why isn't masterclass in a place like an iTunes where you could just buy the episodes? Because is there like I gotta look into like how do you get this masterclass? Because number one, I don't need all of the masterclass. I just want this one. I also want the Nas one. Because I clicked on the website to, see the Mariah Carey stuff, and then I saw not the website, it was the YouTube, and I saw the trailer for the Nas one, and I'm like, I knew he did a masterclass, but I heard the record, so I didn't see any details surrounding what he talked about in the masterclass, but the trailer itself for Nas's masterclass just hit me in a way where it was like, I don't think about these things, but I kind of do. But like my journey doing slam poetry and all of this stuff in New York directly correlates to why Nas is my favorite rapper and why I flow and write the way that I do. So the way he's explaining I should have had the video ready so I could play it, but the way Nas explains how he creates and like how detailed things are and how he's like interested in knowing so much about everything is just sometimes the way my mind works when I'm writing. So wanting to know, I want to get it right, but it was like, did you want do you want wine? And then it was like, why do you want this wine? Did you get it from the cellar? Like all of these questions to like build up, bringing it back home to like why you decided on getting the wine. And it's just like the way of thinking to build this story is a great masterclass. I need this one, and I need the Nas one, and I need the Mariah Carey one, and I need Brandy to do one because um you get a taste of it in this video, but like the way Brandy can, I don't even know the words for it, but the way Mariah Carey vocal produces a record, Brandy picks up on it very easily. We've seen it with the clips. I think I should have my clips ready, but like I'm just getting to it as I'm going. But like the clip of Brandy and Jasmine Sullivan backstage or wherever they were, and Brandy had asked Jasmine about a run that Jasmine does, and they were going back and forth doing the run, and you see how Brandy perfects this run that Jasmine Sullivan does. And at the same time, Brandy has her own runs that is like, as someone on the level of Brandy, the way she studies other people's vocal abilities and then she's able to then perfect it and do it effortlessly is just a talent. And then the stories that we've heard about the technique that only few artists can do, but Brandy does so well with the stacking of her vocals and being able to sing something exactly the same that it fools the computer into thinking that these are the same things and they cancel each other out. Like that engineering and those type of stories that we've heard, it would be good to see Brandy in this masterclass. um because we gotta hear it, we gotta see it in from Brandy's perspective. But yeah, let me finish the video because
Okay.
It was all so sweet, but I loved you, baby.
somebody just needed to just take that part and just make a whole. I might do it. I might just find a sample that part right there and make it into a mix and don't hold me to it because I've been slacking on making mixes because of the reason I said earlier. But I need this record, and the word on the curb is that Randy's vocals are only on the end of the song, and I'm gonna feel like that's not enough, and I hope they did more in some other records, and Silent was in the room, so maybe he knows. But it would be good to see some more. Like I just need to be in the studio while Brandy's recording something. It's on the bucket list. Be in the studio while Brandy's recording. Maybe, I got a bunch of songs in my songs that I've written in the vault. Maybe pitch one of my songs for Brandy. Maybe those are the things that are on the bucket list. But yes, that's the reason I wanted to do this episode. To talk about Brandy and Mariah Carey. I got to go back and hear the record because I've never heard this record before. Um, don't kill me for not hearing this record before, but I feel like I don't have a lot. Like I do have a lot of Mariah Carey, but I only have the latter of her career after the Emancipation. And then some of the hits. So you add in her number one hits, everything after Emancipation. I mean, that goes to, whatever music was being played in my house. That's what I picked up on. And I don't believe my sister had any Mariah Carey. So that's why I don't have a lot of those earlier records. And it's probably why I missed this one. But interesting to hear this record. Can't wait for it to drop. I know it's going to drop on streaming platforms because Nas has a record from the masterclass that I actually have. So any day now, it could be up now. It should be up now because that would be the great promo. But I'm sure they would probably want to wait a week so you can go watch the masterclass and then get the record. So whichever one happens, it'll be good to hear the record in full, and then hopefully hope for more of this Brandy Mariah Carey collaborating because excellent. They did an excellent job. And that's all the topics I had for this video, for this episode of the Elusive Podcast. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for joining. If you're watching on YouTube, let me know what you think about the Brandy Mariah Carey situation. What songs of Brandy's would you like? What songs of Brandy's do you think, specifically off of Full Moon, do you think Mariah Carey could add vocals to and just take it to a whole different level? What else? What else? If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, find your way over to YouTube and you can watch it live. See my place and see, I didn't even turn the. It's always something. Last stream, I forgot to turn on the light that's in front of me. This stream, I forget to turn the lights on behind me. So these are the things you realize after you're 50 minutes into your recording, plus the 50 plus minutes it takes to set up everything and make sure the audio is audioing and the camera is doing what it's supposed to do and the stream is streaming. Hopefully all the sound is correct. It should be. I see the bars are moving, but yeah. So interesting. So interesting that you realize stuff after the fact, but it takes a village, and yeah. So yeah. If you liked what you heard and you got any thoughts on what I've said in this episode, feel free to leave a comment down in the description. And if you want more of my content, feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel, which you will get episodes of this podcast, plus mixes and music. You can hear some of my Brandy mixes already on the channel. The Patreon is available. Still got to format the content, so if you want to support my channel outside of all the stuff that people say, you can subscribe to the Patreon at patreon.com/ELSV. If you want some elusive merch and some elusive things, check out elsv.net, where all my creative stuff is on the website. Am I forgetting anything? Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Thank y'all for checking out another video from me speaking on, topics that I love to talk about, because, I feel like sometimes it's a mess to like talk about some of these topics, and I just got to keep it within on brand, basically on brand. So yeah, we got some interesting things coming. And until we get to that, I'll catch y'all all. Wait, before we get out of here, let's get some background. So yeah, my playlist will be linked down in the description. All the links to all the good stuff will be linked down in the description. Thank y'all again for checking out the pod. Thank y'all for checking out this video if you're watching on YouTube. The podcast is also available on Podbean, which I don't believe I said earlier, but if you don't have Apple Podcasts and you're not watching on YouTube, you can check this out on Podbean, which I will also link down in the description. I don't believe I'll be sharing that link because I just go to YouTube and Apple, but it's on Podbean if you don't have Apple, and if you're not watching the YouTube video, you just want to hear the audio, it's on Podbean. Elusive, the podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Dante. This is episode 24. Thank y'all for listening. If you made it this far, check out the website, elsv.net, for all my good shit. Check out my Apple Music profile for all of my playlists, if you have Apple Music. If you don't, get with the winning team. But yeah, until next time, I'll catch y'all all in the next video. It's been fun getting back to it. Once you get back into the groove, it's easy. So that's what I love about, you sit with feeling like you don't want to do it, and then once you get into doing it, it's like. But yeah, catch y'all in the next video.